Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, and welcome to Nerd Tube. And we have a round table discussion, spoilers though, of Captain America Brave New World. Not really just going to be giving a review here. We're just going to give our opinions, thoughts, feelings about this particular movie. I have Captain Grease, Cheeto Gaz, and I'm your host, Thunder Bud Zam.
By the way, that is a
Okay.
great name. I saw that earlier.
Thank
That
you.
needs to be your name from now
Thank
on.
you. So, let's get the ball rolling. Gaz, I haven't seen you in a long time, mate. It's been a while. Give me your opinions on this movie. Spoilers, everything. Let's hear it.
I I thought this film was very average, but the problem is that there are some really good aspects to it that makes it the fact that it's made feel a lot worse. Like, if it was terrible, I'd actually have like stronger feelings about it. I don't, and that's the thing that I just think it's just there, and I'm very what's the word? I'd be very shocked if it wasn't before they decide to move whatever the previous administration, where it was just a mechanical thing of just pouring out as much stuff as possible. However, there is enough good performances in this. Like, I thought Anthony Mackie was really good. Sam Wilson, I thought he dealt with the weight of the Captain America brand and the weight of Steve Rogers really well. I like that. I loved Tim Blake Nelson back as the leader, Sam, whatever his name was. I liked him back as well because he was really threatening, and every time he showed up, it was like, oh, this is going to be a proper villain. But no, he showed up too infrequently to be a threat, but every time he was, it was great. I thought Harrison Ford actually showed up to work. He wasn't just doing things like, I'm just here for the paycheck. No, he wasn't doing that. It was an actual performance. And I love the fact that it actually brought up the plot hole of having the massive guy out of Eternals in the middle of the earth, and how they got to, well, spoilers for anybody who's not watched it, how they got adamantium on the earth.
Excuse me.
But the action sequences were shit. There's too much CGI. It didn't feel realistic, and at the end, it was just kind of like just it was just kind of boring, to be honest with you. And that is the worst thing you can say about an action film, that it was boring. However, there's enough good in it that I can't say it's totally terrible. That's just my thoughts.
All right. Let's go to your right, my left in Cheeto.
I actually like this movie. I'm not going to say that it was like, it is definitely for me one of the better ones um of the newer phase 4 and phase 5. It didn't blow my mind, and I think that has a lot to do with the production of it. I think that they played it pretty safe on this one. Truth be told, like, but one of my favorite actually, I think still my favorite Disney Plus show is Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And there were a lot of elements of that in this movie. I really, as I said, there were a lot of things here that could have been really big, but like they introduced adamantium. They did they did fuck all with it in the movie. Like it was yeah, like there were political powers after, but what did they do with it? The Red Hulk thing, I really, really enjoyed. I just felt like it was at the wrong place in the movie. I felt like the movie should have started with something like that, introducing the leader's plot. You know what I mean? Like changing Ross into like the Red Hulk, and then everything boils out from that Red Hulk fight in the aftermath. Yeah, there was so much good about this movie, but it just missed the mark by a hair for me. I'm droning on. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm going to go third on this one, if you don't mind, Ginger.
Go nuts, mate.
I'm with you actually, Cheeto. I like this film, but I know there's faults. Um, you can see like some of the moments where the reshoots are, and the exposition was ridiculous. in this movie. Like even little things, like minuscule things, like when Harrison Ford's like going to somebody. Have you seen my daughter? Have you seen Betty, my daughter? Like, who? What other fucking Betty would you be talking about, mate? You know what I mean? Like, of course it's your daughter. You know, I mean, but they had to remind us. Oh, and when you hear the news report about Betty Ross, Bruce Banner's ex-girlfriend, just to remind you exactly what the fuck's going on. I mean, if you are involved in all of this shit, yeah, then you don't need that level of exposition, So it annoys me. It's different to like what we saw in the Avengers movie, the first one with Thanos. What was it called?
I mean, it was in the States. It was just called Avengers, but I think it was called Avengers Assembled in Europe.
No, the first one with Thanos.
Infinity War.
Oh, Infinity War,
yeah. Like that moment when Star-Lord and Thor are talking to each other, and they're talking about some of the stuff that's happened to them, but it's not done in an exposition way. But if you watch the entire fucking saga up to that movie, you know all of that shit, and it's really cool because you've invested in it, and it makes you it feels great. This time round, it doesn't. You have invested in it, but they're treating you like fucking idiots by the way they bring it up, because like, oh, you might have forgotten about this. You might have forgotten about Incredible Hulk 2, which was Incredible Hulk, which was the second Marvel movie. People forget that. Regardless, those moments of exposition piss me off. There was a moment in the film where the leader goes to this admiral's house and kills the admiral, and like, why did you go to that fucking house? Like, there was no, I didn't get it. Like things like that was like absolutely pointless. And the leader as well, like, yeah, he was done very well, but at the same time, like, this guy of probability, I'll bring you to the poker table, mate. But other than that, like, you're super, you got all this fucking brain juice, and all you all you are is a glorified guesser. Like, come on. And they tried to mix the elements of Seven with the way he was operating at times. I felt, the movie Seven with Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman, with all of that shit.
I mean, you just did what the movie did. You just expositioned the movie. It's like, oh, the movie. You just explained the movie.
But I'll tell you what. One of the things I was really fucking impressed with, and was Harrison Ford. Like, I think people don't really realize how good his fucking performance was. He brought Thunderbolt Ross to the table, and God knows if William Hurt would still be alive if he could give a performance like Harrison Ford did. This was Harrison Ford's best performance in a long time, in my opinion. He showed various range in as the president. He's trying to be nice and subtle and hospitable at times, and showing those moments in his character. And then he's trying to reach out to Sam before he then said "fuck you" to Sam after the assassination. Him having to hold back his emotions so he wouldn't turn to the Red Hulk before he did, and all of that. I actually thought his performance was really good. It was one of his best performances in a long time, in my personal opinion. Considering a lot of the stuff he does for a paycheck, and it was really good. Sam and Joaquin Torres as well, like having him as the Falcon proper. They look like a proper duo, and like the baton of like looking up to somebody, how Sam looked up to Steve, and now Joaquin's looking up to him. Does Joaquin ever become Captain America in the comics? Ever?
No.
It's a shame. It's a shame, but like you can see the values of why Steve chose Sam, because like at the very beginning when it came to catching the adamantium, he thought, fuck the adamantium, I'm going to save the hostages. That's who Captain America is. Those moments, elements, and it also showed you how vulnerable he is in those fights. He hasn't got the serum in him. He feels pain and stuff like that. I appreciated all of that, and of course the fact that they finally got that eternal fucking shit that had been driving me nuts for years, with that goddamn celestial sticking out the sky. Yeah. Thank fucking God they finally answered that in this particular movie, because that's been bugging me for years.
Yeah, but they did fuck all with it. That's my big thing is like, I'm glad that they acknowledged it. You're right, but they did nothing with it. Like it, and I don't get me wrong, I love the sequence by the Celestial. That's one of my highlights. I love the Top Gun, like the Falcon.
He put
like,
Red Wing on the shield, and that was awesome, man.
It was. No, the whole
awesome.
sequence was awesome. Yeah. It's just the whole adamantium in general. They just didn't do anything with it. It just
I actually didn't mind some of the fight scenes in that generally, but I the culmination of it was here and there and all of that, and how it ended and all. But it was an okay movie. I'm going to give a list later of the films where I think this is better regarding some of the Marvel movies that have come out since Phase 1. I'm going to give you that what I think is better than, but I'll get to that a little bit later. But yeah, I don't think it was too bad, but it's not the best. I said yesterday to Ginger, I think the Marvel films have peaked, and these sort of movies might be as good as it gets. Okay, Captain Grease.
Yeah, I mean, it's a mid film. It's not the worst. My God, there are plenty that were worse than this, but it's not great. But it is among the worst written films, if that makes sense. Like, there is no excuse for that much exposition. That's just saying that the studio didn't respect the audience enough, didn't know how invested the audience are in, and also just didn't know what they wanted to do with this. I mean, there was constant reshoots. It's glaringly obvious. It's one of the points. Like, they goes to the general's house, shoots the generals.
Why?
Okay, that was clearly there before for a reason, and but we don't know what that reason was. But they still kept that part in the film. And I'm sorry, but the leader was a mediocre villain. Again, too much exposition, too hammy, and not in the right way. Even though he's quite hammy in the comics. Um, I, I I did like the villa. Sidewinder, Giancarlo Esposito. I'm jumping on the bandwagon now of, you know what? He's a boring actor. He was good for a while, but now he's just playing the same stupid fucking role every time, and I waste of a character, waste of somebody that could have been a much better character in the MCU. Not Sidewinder, but Giancarlo Esposito. But now I'm on the bandwagon that I just don't care about him anymore. Harrison Ford, I'm sorry, it was an okay performance.
Really?
You know what? I'm actually pissed off with Harrison Ford because he hasn't put in a good performance since Regarding Henry. All right, and The Fugitive. Those are his two last good
No,
performances. Everything he's done since then has
I would
been
also
shit.
say
Okay, you can argue
Mosquito Coast. I thought it
what?
was superb in that Mosquito Coast.
Did that come after those?
No, that was in the 80s, but that was one of his most
No,
weirdest
wait, you're not
performances.
listening to me then, are you? I said
Well,
his last good performances were The Fugitive and Regarding Henry.
yeah,
In
fair
the
enough, fair
80s,
enough.
he was amazing. Amazing. But
He's always
after,
played the reluctant hero. I just didn't think he played
yeah,
it this time around. He
but
played a
he's just
yeah.
boring. He's a boring
Are you new
actor.
kid?
I thought, see, he did great as Han Solo when he came back in The Force Awakens. I thought it was great in that. Indiana Jones was okay, but you could tell he loved that character. But all his other stuff is just meh. And in this one, it was like, you know, but you're given the stuff you work with. Sam Wilson or Anthony Mackie, he's not a leading man. His performance was good, but he's not a leading man. He doesn't have that oomph. And I actually blame Hollywood for that because that guy oozes charisma. He oozes charisma as a human being, but they never allow it to show on film. And this Captain America could have been so much more charismatic with a lot more swagger and all of that, and a lot more like his self belief kind of develops more in the film. But they always just kind of held him back to make him look more humble. And I'm like, you don't need that. You know, his sidekick was fine, nothing special. Um, the action scenes were good. I did enjoy the action scenes. That I think that's what separates the film from being a complete
I'm
train wreck. What's that? Every film
getting
won't be
some
Winter
race,
Soldier Infinity.
and I'm getting
When
some
it bloody well
racism
should
here.
be.
Look at that, Packy top left. Oh, I'm glad you acknowledged me, my son. All right, Boomer Club.
You gammon prick.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
We all get
absolutely.
old, even you. Well, hopefully you won't last that long. All right.
Yeah. But it was it but it's an okay film. I think the reshoots and all of that, but to finish off, I think the biggest issue here is that even if this film was good, I still don't think people were going to care about it as much. I think it's a tragedy that the franchise is in decline, and the lesson Hollywood will learn was like, oh well, let's just do more Deadpool and Wolverine because Thunderbolts. If Thunderbolts does good, kill me now because like my god, that looks so fucking hell. That the dialogue in that, it's like Joss Whedon and James Gunn had a fucking babe and spit roasted that bloody script out. You know, Fantastic Four, I hope does really well because then it sets a good precedent. Plus, we get a good Fantastic Four film. But honestly, I think all these franchises are just in the spiral now. and you're not really going to save him unless you keep going for that annoying nostalgia grab, or just go for the X-Men and pray that it works.
What bugs me is that next year we're going to be getting an Avengers movie, but I don't feel, with all the shit that we've had prior to this, up to this, feels that we're leading up to an Avengers movie properly. It feels a bit unearned. Yes, guys.
Well, for the first time, we've had a villain that actually didn't die, so we had that.
Here we go.
But because there are still unresolved stuff. Like, are we going to is Kang going to come back at all? Like, or is it just, or did it die with Jonathan Majors? I mean, did that whole arc die with Jonathan Majors? I hope not, because I think that could go to another talented actor. I do agree with what Ginger Greek said, that like Anthony Mackie outside of the Marvel movies is great. Like, if you see him in Altered Carbon, or you see him like just doing interviews, he's an amazingly charismatic guy. I just think he gets told to tone it down in this crap. But I did like him in this because you got to see how the weight of Captain America is pushing on him, and like how expectation is pushing on him. And I did like that. That was the strong part when he was talking to Thunderbolt Ross about like how expectations of how you're supposed to act, pushes on you. Those aspects were good. They reminded me a lot of because I read your Facebook review, Paddy, where you compared this to Winter Soldier. That was very Winter Soldier, where they were talking about like how expectations can weigh in you, stuff like that. And I thought, all right, that's where it's going, where like the expectation gets to Ross, and that exposes like Gamma in him, maybe that he's exposed to when he interfered with when he's been interacting with Bruce Banner a lot, and maybe that's what brings around the Red Hulk. And I thought that, and I thought like that's where I thought it was going. And then like I did like the fact that the leader did survive, because it just gives us more stories to tell about him. But I do agree with you that the Avengers Doomsday has got to be phenomenal, because if they fuck up Doctor Doom, the franchise is done.
Oh, they already fucked that up by putting Robert Downey Jr. in there. I'm sorry, I
You
just
reckon?
don't want it.
I think they. By the way, regarding the leader, I think they tried to Baron Zemo him by having him as this sort of like floating villain, trying to cause infighting, which is what Zemo did in Civil War, and trying to cause that infighting between Ross and Captain America.
Look, it was Captain America Civil War or Wish.com. That's what it was. And it did it badly. I'm sorry. Like, it was so fucking eye-rollingly annoying. And what frustrates me is the motivations for the leader were fucking excellent. And the whole Ross thing, keeping him in that Echo 1 base for his own selfish benefits to save his life, was brilliant. You could have built on that. You could have built on like how Ross is like a Trumpian type character, a hero to the American masses, but behind the closed doors, he's fucking imprisoning people and building like a separate kind of fucking underground society to kind of clinch power even more, kind of thing. But no, they try to redeem Ross. You don't redeem Ross. Fuck Ross. He's an arsehole, and that's why we like him.
That's why he's one of the best Hulk villains.
Yeah.
I've always looked at Ross as a great character, dude. Like I always felt, and I'm not saying that he needed redeeming. I didn't think he was redeemed at all in this. I just felt that I never looked at him as a villain. I've always looked at him as a guy who obviously has his issues with the Hulk. Hulk is a destructive force. His daughter is in love with Banner. All of these stuff. I can understand his issues. So I never looked at him as a villain, and I thought the way, like I said, the way he was handled in this was done pretty well, and he did become a kind of like a villain when he became Red Hulk anyway. So they did that, and I think they did the Red Hulk thing as a one and done. I do not expect Red Hulk to ever make an appearance again.
Okay,
no,
so
you disagree?
Okay, so here's my thing about Red Hulk. The reason why in the comic books, and I'm not being like a comic book purist with this, but I think it works much better is because in the comic books, Ross made himself into the Red Hulk because he thought that the power would be better in his hands. In this one, he has plausible deniability because the leader put gamma in him over a short amount of time. I'm sorry, like they went with this like redeeming arc where it's like it just didn't work, with him. And like, oh, talk about Betty. Like I wanted Betty to come in and just be like, sun's getting real low, big guy. Just like let's just go in on it, let's just ham it up. But still, like
I knew they were going to do that with him. By the way, my name. I'm sure you're talking about me. My name isn't Thundercat. Can you not read? Mr.
Okay.
Racist?
Yeah, and
your
I
friend is
think
racist.
yeah, and I thought what Pai just brought up was
it's a
really
troll,
good.
Sam. He's gonna prod you.
Well,
I know.
but I thought the point that Pai just brought up was really good. Was the fact that that he used the leader's thinking power to be elected president. That is so what people do with the media now. I mean, look what Musk did to get Trump elected.
It was my favorite part of the film. All that stuff between the leader and Ross was great, and it's what stops the film from being among the worst, because that alone is a great redeeming quality. And you can also, if you want to expand on it further, they're both inside the prison thing now, the island, and you can work with that. You know what I mean? You can work with that kind of stuff as well. Like build on that further. How he can manipulate his way out of this situation, or with the Red Hulk being there, things go fucking ape shit or whatever, and just like have these two just butt heads over one just being held as a prisoner. But they're not going to do that now. They're going to
No,
abandon. They're going to
he's
abandon
gonna
it.
Ross is gonna stay in his cell because he is serving his time because he feels like he's done something wrong, and it's like
That's not
no.
Ross. That's what annoys me. That's
Yeah.
not Ross.
that isn't Ross. You're right.
Ross would be very Trumpian in his response, in trying to deflect, obfuscate, take no blame for it. It's like, hey, I didn't know, this wasn't me. I was poisoned. Look what they did to me. I didn't want to become this, and you'd be out of it. You know what I mean? Because aside from turning to Red
He'd be
Hulk,
going like, this is what the woke left did to me.
yeah, this
They
is what the
poisoned me.
woke left did to me. They turned me into Commie Hulk. Look how red I am. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's very Doge.
I'm Republican, damn it, because I'm red.
For me, what I didn't like was, as you said, this was Civil War on Wish, because the way Zemo did it was a lot better. By the way, he really fucking played chess with everybody, and it was really superb how he did it. He anticipated things, and in the way the leader was doing pretty much the same thing. But what annoys me is that we are getting pretty much the same thing. It's mind control. Playing both sides. Playing the same sides against each other.
Badly.
I honestly feel like if they would have gone in full force on Isaiah Bradley turning into a villain because he got close to the president and like leader was like, look, I can protect you, blah blah blah, and he's using them, but like make Isaiah Bradley go villain, like take the chance, take the risk. No, it's got to be mind control.
But
having it as mind control was like so. And also, by the way, why the hell wasn't Sharon Carter in this? Like, where the fuck was Sharon Carter? Well, this other chick, this Secret Service lady. Who the fuck is she? Because she ended up being in the White House at the end of Falcon.
Well, I mean, she was back in the States. I think was she in the CIA? Maybe.
But the point is, it's very easy just to write her in as part of the. She's. You could easily put her in the White House after what happened. Yeah. And so. You just mute yourself, guys. You need to put her. You're just writing. You need to put her back in the White House, and she could be that familiar face.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of having this other chick. Who I had no idea who the fuck is she. Where'd this girl come from? Like,
honestly, I thought that was going to be his end.
No, not the Israeli girl, the black Secret Service agent.
Oh, the black Secret Service.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I thought that was going to be a familiar face. Because I don't think, right? Like Anthony Mackie and Bucky don't know that Sharon Carter's the broker, right? Like
they don't know.
Yeah, I didn't think they knew. So I thought that was going to be the familiar face, but no. Okay, and I'm going to say this: as a white guy, I'm sorry, but like they kind of just had to like throw the black guy knowing the black girl. I'm like, why could it have not been Sharon Carter? Like, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like maybe the
it was very tone deaf because
huh?
that's exactly what it was. It's like, yeah, we'll get black security girl in a high position. They also know Sam Wilson. It's like, all right, they're not all fucking related.
Yeah, right. Like they
Yeah,
like oh
I know
oh
white
because they're
people.
black, I know them. Like
Look,
what?
I
Like
wasn't. Look. Honestly, it doesn't have to be that deep. I didn't know it from that. I wasn't looking from that perspective. I was thinking to myself, just
well, I'm looking
generally,
at it from that
individually.
perspective.
I was just looking at myself. Who the fuck is she? That's how I'm looking at it. Whether she
Yeah.
black, white, Indian, Chinese, it doesn't fucking matter. Who the fuck is she? You know what I mean? Like, where did this person come from? Why we acting like we all know this person? I've never seen this fucking person in my life. And all of a sudden, like, she's some person, like the way Sam was going about how he knows somebody on the inside, and it's this chick, and like, who the fuck is she? You
Yeah,
know,
we'll go to
like,
Gary next when you're done.
yeah,
Zach.
all right, Gary.
Yeah, I want to talk about Ruth. Firstly, the actress herself is like some sort of like Israeli apologist, so that could go fuck herself. But like she's some like Black Widow, Widow flaming operative, and like she only has like one cool action scene in the entire film, and the rest of the time she's like, oh, I will save you all. I'm going to investigate this, but not investigate it properly. It's
She
like,
does a Frankensteiner, which is compulsory for a Black Widow.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
and then what else does she do? She covers the fact that there's mind control involved. Like, well, why doesn't she just tell? I mean, and the thing that annoyed me the most was like, yeah, I know you're saying about the Redemption Act, but what's his name? Ross knew about the famous leader being behind the whole thing in the first place anyway. When he phones up and says, "Hey there," I can't do the impression
Get
of
off my lawn, god damn it!
yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, that I want to talk about Ross
again.
when Gary gets done, but yeah.
Yeah,
Second time
and
the
to be
president.
honest, yeah, like the more that as it goes on, the more like he goes red. I'm like thinking, well, hang on a second, shouldn't as we've just proved that he's got mind control, why can't he mind control Ross to become the Red Hulk? Surely that's more effective than going, I'm going to try and cause a bloody nuclear, well, almost bloody war between Japan, India, and France and America. Instead, why don't I just frame in mind control Ross to become the Red Hulk? And then you got this mindless monster under control who can do untold damage. Going, and this was caused by your American. That would be much better plan. Go on.
I'm sorry, like going back to Ross, like I wanted to bring up earlier and I forgot, but like I'm sorry, like Harrison Ford basically played himself in this movie. You know what I mean? Like it was just grumpy old white guy, like, you know, the stay off my lawn thing. It's like that's all he played. Like I'm sorry, like I feel like it was just it's like Bruce Willis. Well, before Bruce Willis,
It didn't feel like Ross at all.
No, it did not feel like Ross at all. It was poor casting. I don't
Yeah.
mind Harrison Ford, but that was not Thunderbolt Ross to me. Maybe it's President Ross. Maybe but still, I think it was a bad. And on top of that, why would you cast somebody as old as Harrison Ford? If you're going to let him live, like I'm sorry, Harrison Ford's like what 80, somewhere around there, right?
82.
Yeah,
82,
like
yeah.
seriously, like he is. Like I'm sorry, but like he could go at any time, and not that I want him to. He could go at any time. So why are we having a character that is not a one and done?
Should have gone to Ralph Fiennes. It would have been perfect fit.
Yeah, like somebody at least a little bit younger, maybe in their 60s or something. But still, like I don't like. Do they think, oh well, you know, because every president in U.S. history's got to be around 80? I guess we got to cast Harrison Ford.
Makes sense.
For me, if you're looking to do more with Ross, I would have gone Bryan Cranston straight up, just straight up, because he has the delivery and the power to do a brilliant Ross, and I would have loved that. Yeah,
I think Bryan Cranston could have done it pretty good.
Bryan Cranston would have been fucking perfect in that role. Little tash, little slick back hair, beautiful. I forgot what I was going to say now, but yeah, I mean, yeah, it's the same with like John Lithgow trying to cast him as Dumbledore. I'm like, the guy's 80. What are you doing?
Yeah,
like, did you not learn from Richard Harris? You know what I mean? Just don't. I don't mean any disrespect because I love John Lithgow, but it's just like
They can
you
go
need
at any
somebody in
time
their
at this point.
60s to play somebody like that, because then you can get, if you're looking at
I'll
Harry
age him
Potter,
up.
don't worry, I'll go straight back into it. But you're looking at a 14-year production, because it's not going to take 7 years to do the 7 books. You're looking at 2 years each time. You know what I mean? So in 14 years, you're going to tell me that he's going to be fucking 94 years old and still around. Come on. Anyway, I'm just saying. And the same with like Ross. So you put Harrison Ford, he's going to be too old to do anything. You're going to have to recast him again.
I would have gone with somebody. I would have gone with actually Jude Law or Hugh McGregor, because Jude Law's already been Dumbledore as
No,
a
I didn't
younger
like
one.
Jude Law as thing. Ewan McGregor's a good choice though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but somebody who can, like, you just have to make him up, put some
Yeah,
makeup on.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they can play the role for many years. You know,
Yeah.
but okay, I'm gonna quickly mention the films. I mean, it's up to you if you want to do
Oh,
the
there's no
same.
rush,
But
mate. Carry on. Do what you
I'm
got to
gonna
do.
like, here's a list, by the way. Here's the list of all the Marvel movies that I'm gonna put it in the main chat.
Well, and are you talking about phase 1 or phase 4?
All of them.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, I would put this one. The one other point I wanted to bring up is that I would honestly put this movie, and I don't consider this Captain America 4. I consider this the first movie in a new Captain America trilogy. You want to call it a soft reboot of Captain America? Sure, whatever. But like, I think this movie was on par with the first Captain America. Like, except for some of the writing things, but first Captain America also had some issues. So it's like, I think it's right where it needs to be, and then hopefully in the next movie, Captain America movie, we can,
There was a lot of duds, by the way. People forget there was a lot of duds in the early, in the early films. But let me quickly mention what I think. Where I actually think this movie, Brave New World, is actually better. All right. First of all, I would say it's better than Iron Man 3, for Dark World.
100%.
No, not better than Thor for me.
Yeah, not
For
better than
Dark
Thor.
World.
Yeah, I
For
like
Dark World.
Yeah,
the Dark World's
shit.
not that bad.
Oh, it's absolutely shit. You for people who go on about fucking Ragnarok, for you guys to like Dark World, ridiculous.
Yeah,
because it
the
felt
whole
like a
thing with
Thor
Loki-
movie.
With
It's
Loki and
bollocks.
Thor were fucking amazing moments.
It's bollocks. It was absolutely crap.
Oh, bollocks you in a minute.
Christopher Eccleston. It's funny. At one point, I might have
he
said
was
Avengers
shit.
Age.
It was shit.
Yeah.
But there's enough there for the other stuff that I enjoyed.
I would at one point say Avengers Age of Ultron, but not anymore. I think Avengers Age of Ultron is better. And then we go to Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I never liked that as much as a lot of people did. And now this is the one where it's sacrilege, but I don't care. I never understood the appeal for this movie. I'm happy for it. I'm glad people do like it, and fair enough. But Black Panther is very run of the mill for me, and I thought Captain America 4 is better than Black Panther. I've never understood why people like it so much. It's funny that the two white actors in that fucking film happen to be the best characters in Black Panther in Circus and Freeman. But the film was very run of the mill. I never understood people's appreciation for that movie. Ant-Man and the Wasp, I think Brave New World is better than that. Black Widow, Eternals, Shang-Chi, For Love and Thunder, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, and the Marvels. I think Brave New World is better than all those fucking movies.
Fuck right off. Better than Wakanda Forever.
Yeah, no, screw that, man.
Fuck off.
Wakanda, I didn't.
No, this movie was better than Thor Ragnarok.
I watched Wakanda Forever a second time, and Nemo and his fucking flying ankle bracelets. Fuck all that, man. It's bollocks. You know, it's not that
here's where I'm putting it. I'm putting it. So I've got my list here. So we've got the absolute worst is Black Widow. Then you've got Thor: Love and Thunder. Then you got fucking Hulk 2, which was a Norton Hulk. Then you got Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Ragnarok, Age of Ultron, the 3 Ant-Man films, then Brave New World. That's my bottom list.
Norton's Hulk is officially Hulk 1. I mean, it's people say it's associated with Eric Bana's Hulk, but that's not part of the MCU.
Nah, it's not part of it. But those are my Brave New World is there.
So we're talking about below Brave New World.
Below Brave New World, yeah.
These are all below Brave New World.
Okay,
Then
so Thor: Love and Thunder,
and Iron Man 3 and
All the Marvel movies, by the way, all of them.
Yeah, I'm going through it now. I'm doing mine now. Thor: Love and Thunder is below it. Eternals is below it. Black Widow. Yeah, probably just hair below it.
The only good thing in Black Widow were the arse shots. That's it.
Yeah, no. I mean, yeah,
Great
you're right.
directing.
The Marvels is probably just a hair below it. Thor Ragnarok is absolutely below it. Spider-Man Homecoming is below it.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I do not like the new Spider-Man movies. No Way Home.
God, you are worse than Hitler.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
Worse than Elon.
Okay. Guardians Volume 2, yeah, about a little bit lower. Iron Man 3 exponentially below. I would say it's on par with the first Captain America.
I have a soft spot for the first one.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm the one who's probably giving the most.
I love the first Captain America.
I do too, but I'm saying this is like, I would say this is on par with the first Captain America. That's why I liked it, is because it's like
one
it's
of the
the
best
start of a new
origin
Captain
stories.
America trilogy.
One of the best origin stories I've ever seen is the first one.
Yeah, I think I'm just running through the list really quick again. And I think that's it. So I mean, even almost even like Iron Man, like the first Iron Man, although it started it all. If you think about it, yeah, the first Iron Man was like basic B. Like, I don't know. I liked Iron Man 2 more than Iron Man 1.
I like both of them. I like Iron Man 2 as well, but yeah.
So I would still rank the Incredible Hulk above it, maybe. Iron Man 2, Thor, the Avengers obviously above it, Thor: The Dark World above it, Winter Soldier obviously above it, Guardians above it. I would still rate Age of Ultron above it. I love Age of Ultron. Ant-Man is, I would say Ant-Man's more on par. Civil War is about the same. Or no, Civil War is way above. Sorry. Doctor Strange is above. Black Panther is above
the
Huh?
I was a bit stuck on Multiverse of Madness. I didn't know if I should put that one in or not. I never did.
I love that one. I do like that one.
Infinity War is above. Ant-Man and the Wasp is about even. Captain Marvel's above. Endgame is way above. Far From Home's about even with it, maybe a little bit above. Shang-Chi is about even with it. No Way Home is above it. Multiverse of Madness is above it. Wakanda Forever is leagues above it. So that's mine.
I'll give you my top 10 quickly because I got my list here. Look, obviously, Winter Soldier is still my favorite. Then it's Infinity War, then Endgame, then Guardians of the Galaxy 1, then the Spider-Man trilogy, Far From Home, Homecoming, and then No Way Home. Then Civil War, then Avengers, then Captain America 1. That's my top 10.
Sounds like a shit list to me.
Your mum's.
What about you guys? What do you think was a better, which was below Brave New World on that list?
Brave New World, I would put Black Widow. I'd put the Eternals. I'd put Love and Thunder. I'd put Shang-Chi. I'd probably put Iron Man 3. Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Maybe Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Yeah, probably Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Oh.
I think this is kind of in the middle of everything. I don't think it's terrible, and that's the thing that I probably put it above Age of Ultron, and I definitely above it above the first Avengers movie because this had more stuff that I liked in it. But yeah,
I think all the Avengers movies were better. Like Age of Ultron, it just improved to me now because of all the stuff that's happened post Age of Ultron. It's made me appreciate the film a lot more.
Yeah.
Which is why I like it now. But I have to ask a question. Do you think Sam Wilson will take that serum?
No.
Oh.
I hope not. Because that's what makes him interesting is the fact that he doesn't have it, but yet he overcomes the threats he does. Like, he took on a Hulk without that serum. I mean, that is badass. And the thing is that I wish that scene was more badass than it was. And I think what and one of you said before was actually a good point, that if this film was more about he turns into the Red Hulk from the start, and it's Sam Wilson deciding whether he wants to take the serum or not, and then having to overcome it, that would have been a more interesting film to me.
Well, I do feel like in the end of the movie, when he was when he was like talking to himself regarding Bucky, telling him not to take the serum. Um, he obviously at that particular moment wish he did take the serum, even though if he took the serum, he still would not be a fucking match for the Hulk. Regardless, there might be something there. You know what? I actually hope he does take the serum. I really do. I would love to see him take the serum and see what just to expand on his character a little bit further. So yeah, let's see where that goes in the future. All right. Are we marking? Let's mark it. What do you guys want to give Captain America? New world, or sorry, Brave New World. Captain Grease.
Yeah, I'll give it a 5 out of 10. Not the
Right
worst,
down the
not
middle.
the best, but right down the middle.
Guys,
I'll give it a 5 as well.
Cheats.
6.
I'm with 6 as well, just above for me. I'm almost close to giving it a 7, but I think that'd be
I
too
was
much.
actually going between 7 and 6 as well. I was like,
It's a good 6 though. It's a good 6. It's not
solid 6.
It's a solid 6 where it's better than, for me. I enjoyed it more than I didn't. I just wish films like this, which have tons of reshoots, didn't hinder the project, and there was some gaping issues that bothered me. But at the same time, I think it tied up a lot of things too. I'm dying to see what Seth Rollins was doing in this movie. If we ever get to see some deleted scenes in the future.
I think I saw him in a scene like when they were when they caught up to him on the road, and they I think he was in one of those scenes.
Yeah,
but
they
obviously
just
you didn't see his
relegated
face.
them to just some dog shit mercenaries.
Yeah,
Poor
like he was
stuff.
basically just a
You're part of
mercenary at that point.
He was
Fucking
part of that
mercenary.
squad. He was
Yeah.
part of that snake squad, whatever the fuck
Yeah.
it's called.
I think he was
Serpent
one of the first guys like that was like when they started shooting at him on the road. So, but I mean that's the only scene I think he was in. Maybe he was in one in the beginning, but that's what I'm saying. Like there's just the reshoots just they could have done so much with this movie, and that's the most frustrating thing. It's a potential that this movie had.
Some people were calling it Hulk too. Without Banner.
I mean, I can see that. Like I'm not. They should have had Hulk. They should have had Banner in this movie. It should have been, he should have been there.
I'm not sure if we remember. We
not
discussed
really.
this.
It makes sense because you don't turn into Hulk till the end. So when the fuck is Banner gonna get there? The fight didn't last that long, and before that, not everything should be just because it's Ross and leader. It doesn't mean it needs to be Hulk in there. It's just that it wouldn't have made sense having Banner in there because he's not dealing with that kind of stuff, is he? He's just off doing his thing. So it makes sense to me him not being in there. If it comes in
He
a
is on
sequel, it
Earth.
makes even more sense. But
And some people were also saying, like, considering Ross is the Hulk's biggest adversary, why the fuck wasn't the White House surrounded in anti-Hulk tech? When it came to dealing with Red Hulk.
they had better bloody Hulk tech in Incredible Hulk than they did.
Yeah, they did.
In
All those
this.
sound waves and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
obviously Tony Stark had the Hulk Buster and all
Yep.
of that. So like where is all and that was over a decade ago, or about a decade ago. They should have advanced their tech, to deal with the Hulk since.
Yeah. I
And
mean, the only
especially-
argument
Yeah.
you could have is that, there is only one Hulk. Obviously, there's Abomination as well, but there's only one Hulk.
And there's She-Hulk.
And nobody knew. Oh yeah, and there's She-Hulk, but nobody knew that President Ross was a Hulk because nobody knows right until the
I
end.
mean, he didn't even know.
No,
Yeah,
no,
he
no,
didn't
no.
even
I'm
know.
not saying he
But
knows, but I'm just saying the fact that because he's the adversary of the Hulk, he would have Hulk tech to deal with the Hulk.
That's the point, though. That's the point.
Yeah.
Is that regardless, is the White House should be better guarded against anything, aliens, all that. What? Just a couple of cunts with some fucking machine guns and some drones that pop in. It's like, come on, mate. That's bad storytelling. Yeah, Gaz, your mic's muted, by the way, because I muted it.
You muted still, guys.
Hang on, let me do that. Hang on. There you go.
Nope.
Yep, go on.
I was gonna say what should have happened is like, do you like when the Isaiah Bradley shot out the protective screen, like a whole like load of like start like guns should have come out, maybe like gas stuff like that. Like a load of stuff should come out. You're absolutely right. And like the thing should have like sunk into the earth when he came up. And it's just like not only have they had Thanos, they've had like flaming other alien invasions. They've had the Ron the Accuser. They've had all sorts. It's like you're telling me that there's no sort of contingency plan to hide the White House or any like things, and all we've got is a flaming ready room. Yes, sort of. And the other thing that's annoying me is like where in this is like, are you telling me there's not like random screens for this sort of thing? Like, because surely like the fact that they've had the secret invasion thing not too long ago, surely that would have evoked more with DNA screens and stuff like that to see if everybody is who they say they are. Because imagine rampant paranoia was upped after that.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, are they even going to acknowledge Secret Invasion, though? I think they're burying that.
Yeah, oh my God.
Because I think Brave New World originally had some ties to Secret Invasion. But I think after it was such a fucking disaster, they've just buried it.
Well, I mean, we had a whole different president. Like, they didn't even mention the previous President Rittman or whatever his name was. Like, they didn't even mention him.
Yeah.
Like, so, like, they didn't mention anything because, like, you have President Rittman and Secret Invasion saying, "We're coming for you," blah blah blah. Like, oh my God, there's so much here.
I think people have to accept, and the fandom has to accept that the Chapek era is going to be largely forgotten. Okay, the Bob Chapek era is going to be largely forgotten. This film was under the Chapek.
Yeah, I was just going to say, they said either this or Thunderbolts is kind of like the last film under the Chapek era.
They're both the last film under the Chapek era. So after this, it's going to be interesting to see where they take it forward. You know, these are films that they had to release because they'd done all the fucking, spent all that money, so they have to get them out there. I mean, Thunderbolts looks so bad. So it's so infuriating. Like, but I got angry as the trailer went along because the
like a James Gunn movie.
Dialogue was so fucking awful. It's like, for you lot, you love it because you love James Gunn, so it's like a wet dream for you lot because you're a bunch of idiotic simpletons.
It's hit and miss.
But you know, for me, who's sophisticated and likes a good script, it was terrible. That's all I'm saying.
Like it's like not every director writer makes a good film. You know, like Zack Snyder, he done one of my favorite films of all time in 300, but a lot of stuff after that is shit. You know, so
yeah, he's only made two good films: Dawn of the Dead and 300.
300 is just amazing.
I didn't mind Man of Steel too much, but it's not great.
The ending always bothered me. You know,
apart from the ending, not the neck breaking. That doesn't bother me.
Yeah, that doesn't bother me either.
That doesn't bother me either. So, yeah. All right, so we're on to Thunderbolts. When's that coming out?
Well, technically,
that's not too long. Not too.
May.
And then July, we get Fantastic Four, which is hopefully the new era for Marvel.
July. That's those are a bit close. Fantastic Four should come out near the end of the year, in my opinion.
Now, I'm glad it's coming out in July, so people can wash the stink off the Chapek era stuff. So it's like the palate cleanser to these two garbage pieces of shit that are there. So I'm very happy it's coming out in July because I think that's Disney just saying this is now the new era. This is now the Iger Mark II era, and you know, we're going in with the multiverse stuff, but we're gonna steer the ship and get towards Battle Worlds. Gaz,
when does Daredevil come out? Is that May?
What?
Daredevil.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Daredevil.
March.
Yeah,
Daredevil's March.
Yeah,
March
'cause
just round
I
the
heard
corner.
that was the first like non-Chapek thing. I heard that was like the first proper one.
Yeah,
So
that's the first non-Chapek series.
I mean,
So that's
technically,
without-
it's
that's
still
without this
Chapek,
month.
but they did
That is
such
without
big
next month then.
reshoots on it that
yeah,
they kind of.
You're right. Sorry, Cheeto. You're absolutely right. Yeah, sorry.
How many episodes are we getting on that?
I think
13.
6 or 8. I think.
No,
Well,
it's
these-
13.
No, yeah, it's in the teens. I think Ginger's right.
Yeah, I think it's like 13.
But
That's a lot.
if they bring back the writing and the atmosphere from the Netflix series,
I mean,
that'll
it
be
looks
great.
good. Like looking
You see
at
what they
trailers,
get?
I'm like, ooh, it looks nice.
You think-
Early reviews have come out for it already, and they've said that there are parts that are more violent than the Netflix ones. So
That's good. You think we'll get an episode dump, maybe like 2 or 3 on week 1?
I hope
maybe.
Probably, yeah, we'll probably get a 3-episode dump.
Yeah,
Which is
yeah.
fine. I'm looking forward to it. If they do it right, I mean, it looks really good. But obviously, trailers can be deceiving. But if they do it right, and not any more fucking flashbacks because we don't need them, then it could be one of the best Marvel properties of the year by far.
Yeah,
So-
that and Thunderbolt.
Fucking why do you talk to me?
All right. All right, let's wrap this thing up. Okay. Thank you very much for watching, everyone, and joining our roundtable discussion. I like to know in the comments below if you enjoyed Captain America: Brave New World. Let us know your opinions on it, and what do you think of our opinions too. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to NerdTube, the greatest social media channel.